Assalamualaikum, hello and welcome to Dialog TVS, the show where we talk to the people and the voices shaping Sarawak's future. I'm your host, Razi Ahmad.
And alongside with me, Shol Shmato, and today Razi will talking about an event that has grown in Sarawak into a very important platform, not only for the region, but also for Southeast Asia as a whole. Now, the Sarawak Energy Sustainability and Renewable Energy Forum, or commonly known as SAREF, organized by Sarawak Energy.
And for those who don't know, SAREF is now in its fourth edition, and it's become a place where leaders, experts, and communities come together to talk about how we can build a sustainable future. This year's theme is Partnerships for Our Goals, Sustainable Growth and Prosperity for the Region, which promotes the idea that we can only achieve progress if we work together, Cheryl.
Yes, that's right, Razi. And today's topic, Razi, would touch on everything from renewable energy development, digitalization to cross-border collaborations, and of course, this time, youth engagement. Now, we're going to talk about how SAREF is turning ideas into real action, especially as the world faces the urgent challenges of climate change. Now, joining us today is none other than the man behind SAREF himself. I'd like to welcome to Dialog TVS, Datuk Sharbini Suhaili, Group CEO of Sarawak Energy. Welcome, Datuk.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for being with us today.
Yes.
Yeah.
My pleasure.
Today, Datuk will share with us, I'm pretty sure, the vision, and we're so excited to hear what's behind SAREF 4.0, its impact, and how Sarawak is actually positioning itself as a regional leader in renewable energy. Now, Datuk, let's start with a little bit on this year's theme, as was mentioned by Razi earlier. We know that every edition of SAREF is anchored by a theme that sets a tone for very vital discussions and outcomes. And this year's theme, as was mentioned, Partnerships for Our Goals, Sustainable Growth and Prosperity for a Region, which brings us something that is very vital for Sarawak and the region itself. Now, the focus this year, I think it's on partnerships, how working together can drive sustainable growth and prosperity, and also tying closely to United Nations Sustainable Development Goals to achieve net zero carbon emission. Now, could you also share with us behind the vision and the theme of this year's edition of SAREF, Datuk?
Thank you very much for having me on this. So this Sarawak Energy's vision is to achieve sustainable growth and prosperity for Sarawak by meeting the region's need for reliable and renewable energy. And this vision forms the foundation of everything we do in Sarawak Energy, and it's the aspiration behind SAREF. And I think you mentioned that SAREF actually was conceptualized to bring together industry leaders, policymakers, and experts from the global energy and sustainability area to come together and discuss and talk about the transition towards a sustainable low-carbon future, and also focusing on the United Nations Sustainability Development Goal or SDGs. And I think SAREF provides an ideal platform for this important conversation on sustainable energy, on climate resilience, and inclusive growth to Borneo, while at the same time showcase the potential for Sarawak and for Borneo to be the energy hub or the battery of ASEAN, and to be the center or a driver of regional interconnectivity in this region. And I've always mentioned in many of my talks that for Southeast Asia to achieve a zero carbon future, it is imperative for each of the member states to capitalize on the renewable energy available to them and to share it with their neighbors to ensure that the whole region will transition to a low carbon economy. And we know that advancing energy transition requires collaboration. Nobody can do it alone. So that's why I believe that SAREF, now is SAREF 4.0, is the good platform for us to basically advance this discussion and also actionable actions for us to be able to deliver what we discuss and what is needed for us to move to a low carbon future.
Yeah, you mentioned a lot there. I think you mentioned about Sarawak becoming the battery of ASEAN. But before we talk about how we get to become the battery of ASEAN, I want to bring it back to 2019. So SAREF began as an idea to bring people together to talk about renewable energy and sustainability originally. So since then, it has grown into a major platform that attracts voices and big industry players from around the world here to Kuching, no less. So, and each year the event seems to get bigger and more impactful. So looking back, how has SAREF evolved since that very first forum that Sarawak Energy did in 2019? And what makes this fourth edition different or even more significant than previous years?
So SAREF is a 10-year thought leadership program. And when we first conceptualized it in 2019, we are looking at how together as a company and with our stakeholders and with our regional partners, how we can further advance energy transition towards a low carbon economy, as I mentioned earlier on. So we organized our first series in 2019, and we have Tan Sri Michelle Yeoh, who was making the keynote address there. And the next one was SAREF 2.0 in 2021. That was mainly done online because that was during the COVID years. And 2023, we came back to BCCK, and we have Dame Christina Figueres as the key speaker. And basically, this year, we are back here, and we have a very strong lineup of speakers, which to me, will be able to have, to give us a very fruitful discussion and discourse on how we can move further in terms of, energy transition. And so I think over the last three series, we have seen that SAREF have grown into an important platform for advancing regional dialogue, for forging relationships and partnership, and shaping a strategic discussion and conversation. And more importantly, is inspiring concrete action towards delivering our objective of low carbon future. So we have in many ways achieved some of the original objective we had when we first thought about SAREF. One of the first things we wanted to do was to ensure that large hydro is recognized as renewable energy in Malaysia. At that time, it was not. So that was one of the objectives we had. And after 2019, we managed to achieve that. So I'm glad that now renewable energy or hydro will contribute towards Malaysia's target of COP21. And now it's the fourth edition, and in this edition, I'm looking at enhancing our partnership towards regional collaboration, towards interconnection, which is important. As I said, there will be no transition without interconnection. And I believe that this platform 4.0, SAREF 4.0, give us a very good opportunity for us to work together with all of our regional neighbors and all of our stakeholders in Sarawak, in Sabah, in Borneo, and in Malaysia to advance this cause.
That's right, Dato'. And you mentioned a lot on regional collaboration. And of course, one important matter that you touched on is inspiring concrete action. Now, for this, that we often hear Sarawak is being touted as the battery of ASEAN, as also we've been mentioned earlier. Now, because of this abundant renewable resources that we have, the rich biodiversity that Sarawak has, especially hydropower that you also have pointed out, would enable us to lead Southeast Asia's energy transition. Now, I think this is also an ambitious and powerful vision that is led by the Premier of Sarawak as well, in championing for Sarawak and also Malaysia as a nation. But getting to become the battery of ASEAN, right, Dato', we'll probably need more than just harnessing our natural resources. I mean, we also need to maybe explore other technologies and avenues to become a major exporter of energy to our neighbors. So with SAREF 4.0 being set, and of course coming back bigger and better this time than the previous editions, I mean, how are we using this to push the vision forward and to position Sarawak as a leader in renewable energy for Southeast Asia?
So, we have started harnessing our substantial potential in hydropower back in the 1980s, and actually that has transformed our generation mix to predominantly hydropower today, renewable hydropower. and that gives us a strong platform to discuss and to drive energy transition, both in Sarawak and also in Malaysia, in Borneo, and in the region. And our strategic investment and strategic shift to hydropower in the mid-80s, I think, has given us a platform to today provide the most competitive tariff in the region. So not only we have clean energy, but we have affordable energy. So you can see that today in Sarawak, you could look at Samalaju, Samajaya. There are many investors coming in, looking at using our renewable energy to basically manufacture the product, which they can sell as green product around the world. And that actually is good for business, good for them, and good for us as well. And our premier is very advanced in his thinking. So he has basically stated that by 2030 we would have 10 gigawatts of energy. And today we have about 5.8. So it's quite a big task to do that. And then by 2035 is 15 gigawatts. And working with my team, I'm confident we can deliver that, and we will ensure that we will retain a big part of the renewable energy in our gen mix going forward. And so these plans are there, and we believe that as a state, and with the resources we have, with the capability we have in the organization, we will be able to deliver that. And SAREF 4.0 is a good platform for us to advocate and to drive this ambition that we have to become, as I said earlier on, the battery of ASEAN and a renewable energy powerhouse for the region. And with the support of our leaders like Yang Muhammad Premier, I believe we can achieve that.
Could you elaborate a little bit more on the type of energy mix in order to achieve that 10 gigawatt and 15 gigawatt by 2035?
So today we have 5.8 gigawatts of power, and we are developing Balai, which is another big hydro plant, 1285 megawatts. And then we are also, of course, developing gas, CCGT in Samalaju in Miri. And I believe that gas is the transition fuel towards low carbon economy. It's if we can replace our coal plant with gas, that it will reduce the carbon emission. And in the future, we look at how we can capture the carbon from these CCGTs as well. And at the same time, we are looking at cascading power sources, which is run-of-river hydro. These are smaller hydro, but you have a series of structure and generation along the river. And we have identified 12 basins for us to do that. And the challenge today is how to bring the cost down, because we have very competitive tariff here in Sarawak. Our tariff is the lowest in Southeast Asia, and in Malaysia, and among the most lowest in Southeast Asia. So cost has gone up. So we need to make sure that we're able to basically develop these renewable energy sources and still make some margin for us to be able to develop more resources in the future. And the other one we're looking at is solar. And today, I think around the world, everybody's talking about solar energy as the next step for us to achieve that zero carbon future. So we have energized our 50 megawatt Batang Ai floating solar, and we are going to look at Bakun and Murum as well for floating solar. But there are many proponents for ground mounted solar as well around the state. So we have a few thousand megawatts of proposal on my table. So we look at that, and we will ensure that we are able to integrate this solar as well into our system. And the challenge with solar, it is intermittent. When you have sunshine, you have power. When the sun sets, there's no power. So we need to basically effectively integrate that into our energy system to make sure that our grid remains stable and reliable. And the other one we're looking at is biomass, because we have a lot of biomass in the state. And again, the challenge is cost. So our team is working very hard in looking at how we can optimize the cost, and such that we are able to develop it and still make it competitive, in terms of pricing, that we can still supply power at a competitive tariff and still develop this economically. Yeah, so that's a challenge for us.
Yep. So all of that, we are harnessing all of our natural resources, not just for Sarawakians, but to export these energy, this excess energy at a affordable and impressive rate to our neighbors. Yeah.
Yep.
So I guess that's gonna be the first segment of our Dialog TVS. We'll be right back after this break.
Don't go anywhere. All right, and welcome back once more to Dialog TVS. Now, the conversation here is still ongoing, Razi, and we're here at the beautiful headquarters of Sarawak Energy as well. And thank you again also for still being here with us, Datuk. It's an honor. And also, earlier we covered a few on the aspirations, the visions, the theme of SAREF this year and this edition here. One of the key main things that I think we'll expect to see as a highlight this year is the commemoration and the celebration, I think on the 10 years of partnership of the Sarawak and West Kalimantan interconnection will be one of the significant celebrations that you have incorporated in SAREF 4.0 this year. Now, for the audience here who are gearing up to know more about this, maybe you can also explain what this relationship truly means, not only for Sarawak, but also for Kalimantan as a whole.
Yeah, thank you. So we in 2016, we energized our line to Kalimantan, to PLN, supplying West Kalimantan, and that was the start of a 10-year relationship with PLN, and it's been very successful, and we have actually supply between 80 to sometimes even 250 megawatts of power to West Kalimantan, and it helps them to basically also reduce their reliance on diesel and on coal. So in a way, we are sharing our renewable energy with them and help them to reduce their carbon emission in their grid. And it has been a very good relationship, and and my relationship with PLN President Director Pak Darmo is very close, and he will be coming over to SAREF, and we're going to have a dialogue as well with him, and we'll probably celebrate this 10-year relationship we have on the interconnection. And it is a very important demonstration of what we can do to drive interconnectivity in Southeast Asia. So this is to me the start of the Borneo Grid. So Malaysia is now the chair of ASEAN, and our Yang Ahmad Mohamad, Deputy Prime Minister, is driving the ASEAN Power Grid. So this Borneo Grid, to me, is an important building block for us to build that ASEAN Power Grid. And I'm very proud that Sarawak Energy is driving it. And so that was the first interconnection that we have in Borneo. And in October, inshallah, we will connect to Sabah. So that is, the northern leg. And then we have been talking to Brunei as well, and they're very keen to have an interconnection between us and Brunei. And so then that completes the Borneo interconnection, and we also have a hydropower project in northern North Kalimantan with our partners. And in the future, it's possibility that we'll connect those areas to our grid as well, and that can then be used to transport to West Kalimantan. So then the Borneo grid become a reality, and I think, I'm sure you hear that at the same time we are talking to Singapore, and we also are talking about a line to Johor, subsea cable to Johor to Singapore. So if that is become a reality, then actually the ASEAN Power Grid is already in play. And then if we and Kalimantan can develop all of our energy resources, renewable energy resources, and we share it with all our neighbors, we can help the whole region transition. And that is a great place to be.
Yep, so I'm sure that's a very ambitious and visionary effort by Sarawak Energy to help our neighbors to bring down their carbon emissions and transition to a green energy. And I guess that's part of a larger effort to combat global warming.
Yep.
So when we zoom out a little, changing gears a little, when we look at it globally, the conversation about climate change is focused on limiting global warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius. If we exceed 1.5 degrees Celsius, I think it's going to be very bad for us. So, and it's also about achieving net zero carbon emissions. So, but this is easier said than done. These are very huge challenges for any country, and they require real action, not just words or commitments on paper. So, SAREF is being held at a time when these issues are getting more urgent than before. So, how will this year's forum help drive action towards those goals, and especially in our part of the world?
Yeah, I think as I mentioned earlier, in energy transition, nobody can do it alone.
Yeah.
So you need effective collaboration and effective partnership to make it happen. And the 1.5 degrees centigrade, which is the COP21 target, actually it's something that most countries around the world is trying to achieve. And for us in Sarawak, we actually so the Paris agreement was that you drop below 2 degrees and after that to 1.5 degrees.
Yeah.
Right.
So we in Sarawak, our grid emission have dropped to below 2 degrees in 2014 when the Murum hydro plant was operational. In fact, we dropped below 2 degrees. And now we are working towards 1.5 degrees centigrade. And we believe that we can achieve this around 2030 when Baleh come on stream. And that actually helps Malaysia to achieve its COP21 pledge, right? And so that's why it's important for Malaysia to recognize that large hydro is renewable because that will help you to look at to reduce your carbon footprint. And so for us as well, we because of our early investment into hydropower, as I said, we have reduced our grid emission intensity by 70% from 2010. So such that we are now between 1.5 to 2 degrees. And the next step for us is how do we then move it towards to 1.5? And then how do we then share that with our neighbors in Borneo and in Southeast Asia so that we can help them to reduce their emission as well. So Singapore is very interested in that sense because they have a COP21 target to meet, and they need renewable energy, and the closest one they have is Sarawak. So that's something that we're looking at. Peninsular Malaysia as well, because Peninsular Malaysia don't have a big hydro potential like us. So they have solar, which is, as I said, intermittent. So that's something they're looking forward as well for us to look at how we can connect the various regions. So this is to me our contribution, and I would like us, Sarawak Energy and Sarawak, to drive this, and we become the battery of ASEAN and basically the driver for sustainable development in the region.
Yeah, that's great, Datuk. It's a very ambitious move for us to develop into a more sustainable region. And you pointed out a very good method on sharing it with the neighbors as well. As we know, the challenge nowadays is not only to have clean energy, but also how to maintain it to be affordable. So clean and affordable, both are the main vital aspects on energy. Now, circling back to SAREF, Datuk, one of the things that people usually look for at conferences like this is not maybe just discussions, but also tangible and on-the-ground action. Now, when you point out on sustainability, I think it's very important for the people to know what's actually being done. And you shared like a vast vision that for yourself and Sarawak Energy as well is lamenting this. Now, for this coming year, I mean, as we venture towards 2030, Dato', are there any practical measures, new projects or innovations that are being introduced at SAREF 4.0 soon that will directly support to Sarawak's climate and sustainability goals, Dato'?
Yeah. So we invite many experts and energy leaders to this forum, and I believe that they will bring in innovative ideas and new technologies, ideas that we can use and utilize to further reduce our carbon footprint in the state. And of course, we as Sarawak Energy needs to demonstrate that whatever we talk or discuss is translated into actions. So it's why we have this Adopt a Tree campaign, which we have. So basically, our our plan is to basically to plant or protect about 500,000 trees, between 2021 to 2030. And up to June this year, we have planted over 200,000 trees. And to demonstrate that whatever we discuss is translated into real world action. So each of the delegate to SAREF 4.0 will be given a digital certificate that they are part of this tree planting.
Right.
So it gives them a personal connection to real action. So this campaign actually is something that we talk about to basically to ensure that we protect the ecosystem. We can rehabilitate the ecosystem, about carbon sequestration as well, and that is to me part of that nature-based solution for us to reach the ambition about energy transition. So besides developing renewable energy sources, we also need to do nature-based solution, and this is part of the thing we're doing. And we want to connect the people who attend SAREF to what we're doing on the ground.
Right.
So that's something that we're looking at. The other part of our ambition as well is to reduce carbon emission throughout the economy. So one of the big part is on transportation sector. So if I said earlier on that when we first started, there are four aspiration we want to achieve, target we want to achieve. One is that the recognition of large hydro as renewable energy. The second one is to electrify the transportation sector, because we know that 20 to 25% of carbon emission is from transportation.
Yes.
So imagine if we can move or change all of our cars into EV, which use renewable energy.
Or hydrogen.
Or hydrogen. Hydrogen is an EV actually. It's an electrical car.
Yes.
Yeah, one is using battery, one is using hydrogen. So this actually basically will reduce the carbon footprint by 20%. So that's something that we are very advancing very, very much. And you know that Sarawak Energy is the first one to build the first hydrogen plant and refueling station at our Sungai Bawak plant.
Yes.
So basically we are refueling hydrogen for many of the cars in Kuching now, and the buses as well. And so we use that data for us to see what more we can do on the EV space. And we buy a lot of electric cars as well for our staff to ensure that we are trying to green our transportation sector. And we are putting solar panel everywhere. In fact, the top of this building they will have solar panels, and we're going to actually expand it. And we have been putting EV chargers around the state, up on the Pen Borneo as well. So that the transportation sector is very important, and as well, these motorcycles, this what do you call that? They actually emit a lot of carbon.
Correct.
So if we can
Exhaust
replace,
emissions.
what do you call this? This twin cap engine or something like that. So basically, if you can reduce most of the motorcycles in Sarawak into electric bikes, actually there's a big gain for the environment. So that's something we're pushing as well, and we are pushing it through what we do as an organization, but we also talking about it in SAREF 4.0.
When you mentioned about these transportation engines, EVs, technology is a big part behind that. So technology is clearly playing an increasingly important role in the energy sector. So from AI to data analytics to smart grids, I think this digitalization is really becoming a key enabler for the green transition. So how is Sarawak Energy tapping into these technologies to accelerate its move towards cleaner and more efficient energy?
So we our aspiration is to be a sustainable digital utility, and we started our digital roadmap, and we put in place our ICT blueprint back in 2018. When I came in, and basically what we wanted to do is to apply technology to make Sarawak Energy a great place to work. So that was the mission that I put: make Sarawak Energy a great place to work, adopt technology, and this include IT and whatnot. So today most of the things we do are online. Yeah.
Yeah.
So approval of leave, approval of
Yes.
many things are done online.
E-signatures also now.
E-signatures, and as well we are also now moving into the generation, transmission, and distribution using smart grid, and so basically applying IT technology to make it more efficient from throughout the whole value chain, from generation, transmission, distribution, and to the customers. And we also have digital twins of our power plants in our office here, where we are able to see the operation of each of our power plants online and here in Kuching. So I can have my experts sitting here in Kuching, and they can do troubleshooting in Kuching rather than going to each place. So they can do few plants in a day. And this
Work remotely.
exactly. So and you can have few experts in there, because if they go to different place, they have to go each one of them.
Yeah.
But here I have a collection of them sitting together, thinking of how to solve this, and they can see the operation and each of the parameters of the plant online, and they can then say this is the problem, and so that actually creates more efficiency in how we operate, and actually we are able to see how we can improve and optimize our process in terms of energy efficiency as well. So the smart grid is another thing. So we, as we mentioned earlier on, we are exporting to Kalimantan, to Brunei, to Sabah, later on. And so we need to make sure that our grid is reliable and it's very efficient. So the only way to do that is to actually make it a smart grid. So everything has to be, everything have to have a feature where you're able to see what's happening, and you use AI technology to make sure that you can detect issues upfront. And even today, you can see that in the past, when we have issues on our distribution transmission line, our people have to go to the ground and look at what the issues are, by surveying. And some of the areas that we operate, are very difficult. So today we're using drones. So we have drones flying, and using AI to see what are they can detect anomalies, and then you can easily detect and rectify very quickly.
So it's not necessarily even relying on the human oversight.
Yeah.
You can just automate using AI.
So I mean, my vision is to have set like a nest of AI of drones around the state, and every day they just fly in a path which is basically programmed,
Yes.
and the AI will tell you where are the problems.
Yes, because AIs, I think they are like smarter version of it. Where they can optimize and oversee, and also that limits movement, and maybe perhaps this is also one of the ways and initiatives towards less carbon as well, and it's more practical. And this is one of the key highlights that you touched on, actually, on digitalization and incorporating technology aside from energy. Now, it's amazing that both of these are interrelated, and I think Datuk will talk more about that. But for the viewers out there, don't go anywhere. We'll be back after the break with Dialog TVS. All right, and you're still with us right here on Dialog TVS. Now, still on the same topic on SAREF 4.0, which is bringing together all thought leaders in Sarawak. Now, Datuk, thank you so much for still being with us. And of course, you have told us a very amazing innovation. And also, before this, we were on the topic of technology and innovation. Now, as you talk about SAREF as well, another thing that I think that makes SAREF unique is the caliber of its participants. Now we're zooming in a little bit on the event, its audiences, and what to expect during the conference later on. Now, for this time, it brings together government leaders, and as we know as well, international hydropower experts, advocates, and policymakers in the industry. Now, we know that this is a diverse mix of voices. And in your opinion, who are some of the key participants that we can look forward to this year? Or what type of perspectives, as we know, we're always evolving and changing in the energy industry, or insights which will be brought to the forum this time?
Thank you. SAREF 4.0 brings together a host of the most influential global and regional voices in energy, in clean energy and sustainable areas. Yeah. I think at the forefront is our Yang Ahmad Muhammad, the Premier of Sarawak, who will be discussing about how we bring partnership into play into this and accelerating towards the goal that we have in terms of clean energy and sustainable development. And we are also proud that the Deputy Prime Minister of Malaysia, Yang Ahmad Muhammad Datuk Sri Fadilah Yusof, will be here to share the national policy on transition and on regional cooperation. And other esteemed guests we have, speakers we have, includes Naomi Hirose, Chair of the Impact of the World Energy Council, Mr. Eric Solheim, who is also a board member of the International Hydropower Association. He's also the former United Nations Environmental Chief and advocate for green diplomacy, Mr. Ashok Koshla, who is the President of Hydropower Sustainability Alliance, and I think and many others who will bring regional and global perspective into clean energy transition. And together with the ASEAN representative we have, and also stakeholders from Sarawak and from Indonesia, from Brunei, from Sabah, from Peninsula, I think it is an excellent platform for us to have this discussion and conversation, and more about how do we turn all of this conversation into real action, for the future. And one of the things that around the world, even if we go to COP, is there is a lot of discussion and conversation around green energy, but not much action has been taken. So I think we have the opportunity to turn words into action here. And I think that's something that I'm really hoping we can do.
Yes, Datuk. And we're also well known that this year you have been re-elected again as board member of the International Hydropower Association, and you'll be overlooking ECG and Asia Pacific as well. I mean, with this having said, now we're bringing all the experts in this diverse connection. I mean, what do you hope to see, or what do you hope to bring in this year as part of that to Sarawak to showcase it to the world?
So being part of the board of IHA, which is based in London, headquarters is in London, and with board members from all over the world, actually have given us the voice, in the global scene, and basically as well enable us to be recognized as one of the key voices of renewable hydropower and sustainable energy leader in this part of the world. And the fact that this is, I think, the fourth time I've been elected shows that actually, my presence is appreciated by the global hydropower community.
Congratulations!
And thank you very much. And I'm very proud that I can represent Southeast Asia for that, for this important forum. And IHA is a very important voice for sustainable hydropower development. And they have a number of basically they are a world-recognized organization in driving sustainable development of hydropower, and their statement is very important because they have a statement that says that the only acceptable hydropower is renewable hydropower, and that is a mantra that they carry throughout the whole organization to all the members. And they have over 100 of our members around the world. And to me, to be part of that organization actually allows Sarawak Energy to be recognized as a sustainable hydropower developer. And that's very important for us because we want to make sure that not only we develop our energy sustainably, but we are recognized for it. And it's very important to be recognized. And there are also, of course, commercial value for that as well. So basically, if we sell our renewable energy certificate, it is recognized, and the product that we made, that our customer made from that, is considered green products, and there's a premium in the market. So there are very good initiative around that.
And it will be part of the list of participants who are going to be at SAREF 4.0. But Dato, when we talk about the participants just now, when we talk about sustainability, we're really talking about the future. And when we talk about the future, it's about the youth, the younger generation that will continue our fight against climate change. But this year, alongside SAREF, we'll also see the ASEAN Energy Youth Awards, which will shine a spotlight and recognize innovative and out-of-the-box ideas from the younger generation. So how is SAREF 4.0 engaging with the youth? And why is it so crucial to include them in these very important conversations?
So the youth are not just participants, they are our partner in energy transition. And we at SAREF 4.0, we made engagement with the youth a priority because to me, the youth leader today will be the change makers tomorrow.
Yes.
So we need to make sure that they are on board with us. And I don't think you need much, you don't need to convince them because, if you look at the youth today, they're very aware of the environment, of the future, When my son would not use plastic straw, for example, in his drink. So you can see that they're very much aware. So the key thing is to ensure that basically this 4.0, because we bring them in, we have this youth lunch talk, and we have the youth pavilion, and you mentioned that our collaboration with the ASEAN Center of Energy, or ACE, basically we have the youth award. I think it's the 5th ASEAN Energy Youth Award, and it gives a student and early career professional a platform for them to showcase their ideas and solutions. So I think it's a good platform for them to show it to us, and it's also a good platform for them to engage with the energy leaders, the thought leaders, and the experts in transition and in clean energy, and hopefully it will motivate them to pursue this passion further. And I think it will be good for the future as well. And also it's an opportunity for them to collaborate with other youth around the region, because we have youth from Philippines, from Brunei, from other parts of Southeast Asia, and and these youth are the one which will determine the future, right? So it's good that if they can collaborate now, and they are able to have a network, and they're all thinking along transition and clean energy, I think they will be good for the future. So I think for me, SAREF 4.0 actually is a very good platform to help this.
Absolutely, I agree as well. And also, I think events like this also inspire the next generation to consider careers. As we know, we open up a lot of new energy industries in Sarawak in sustainability and clean energy. Now, apart from what you mentioned, that the awareness that they have among the youth and the generation, and conversations with other youths around the world, what else actually attracts this generation to inspire all these Sarawakian youths to be the next, engineers, policy makers, or industrial experts? Datuk, what do you say about that?
Yeah, so I think the interaction with, as I said, energy leaders and experts in this field, I hope will motivate them, give them their drive to look towards this career, and SAREF 4.0 brings a multitude of experts and thought leaders and policy makers at one platform, and our youth can interact with them, and hopefully they can be mentors to our youth as well as we move forward. And the fact that there is a conversation around clean energy and sustainable future, and the youth can participate in it, I think it's a very good thing for all of us.
Yes.
And it can encourage them to basically pursue careers, and also pursue in terms of interest in the area, even though maybe they're not directly related to that in their career, but the interest is there, and they will support the network around sustainable development. And that's what we want to do. And at the end of the day, as I said, what we need is action rather than words, right? And if we don't get the youth to act, there's nothing much we can do, right? Because they are the one who will determine what the future, what the future route is going to be like. And so to me, we need to get them early in this discussion, and we need to share with them what are the possibilities, what are the technologies, and then we need to support them. So our policymakers need to make sure that the policies are there to support energy transition, clean energy, and then you get the youth to act. So I think it's a very important part of this conversation.
Yeah. So it's very interesting that we'll be not just seeing the leaders and the prominent voices, we'll also be seeing the youth, the younger generation, who's going to lead the fight against climate change in the future. But not everyone is going to be able to go to SAREF 4.0. So for us, everyday Sarakians like me, Cheryl, and Sarakians watching at home, what are some of the ways that they can take part or benefit from the initiatives at SAREF 4.0?
So, I mean, there are many activities that we do as an organization as well. And of course, we will be sharing, the proceedings and what is the summary of SAREF on the media, on the social media. And there are many activities that we do as an organization, like, tree planting, for example, is one of them. That the people, the community can get involved with. But I think it's also important that the community is involved in this discussion holistically, because at the end of the day, it's about how we, as a nation, look at how we can optimize what we do and perhaps reduce our carbon footprint. There are many things we can do actually. Basically maybe drive less or switch off the electricity at night and optimize how we use electricity and water, for example, and make sure that whatever we do, sustainability is at the back of our mind, and not throw rubbish on the road, for example, and
so
recycle.
every little thing counts.
Recycle waste and this kind of thing, of course. And if you go to Western countries, recycling is very big part of it. And we started it here in Sarawak Energy, and of course it's quite a challenge to get people to think about sustainable living. And but if we don't have conversation like SAREF, there will be no discussion at all. So it's good that we have this, and it's good that we make it. We share it in the news, in this discussion as well, so people on the TV are able to see. And basically, the question is, what can we do as individual to reduce, waste, to become more efficient in terms of energy, and to see how we can basically embed more of the circular economy in the way we live. So that's something that we need to do together, And so this SAREF 4.0 is just part of that conversation, and I hope it's a starting point for many people who are watching and who are participating to start this.
Yes, we all know that all these sustainability efforts actually begin from home, and also we can see that these efforts also being done around the headquarters of Sarawak Energy itself as well. Datuk, you mentioned the solar energy panels that has taken place and everything. Now, before we wrap up, Datuk, we want to take this maybe to a more personal level for you. I mean, sustainability can mean different things to different people, and the way we do it and the mode we do it as well, right, Razi? Now, for you, Datuk, as a leader in Sarawak Energy, as we know your leadership style, and we had previous conversations, is very interesting. And of course, what does sustainability, maybe we would like to know, mean to you on a personal level, and with the perspective of you having to hold different positions in previous industries before? I mean, you were in oil and gas and a few other industries. How does that perspective influence the way you lead Sarawak Energy to its powerhouse that it is today?
So to me, sustainability is to be able to meet the needs of today's population, but as well make sure that the future population is protected as well in terms of the activity that we do. We do need power to grow. If you don't have power, you can grow. But how do we make sure that by generating and delivering that power, we are also protecting the environment for the future generation. And so it is so this circular economy is very important. So I'm very proud to lead an organization which has move towards renewable energy development. And we are able to meet, for example, the COP21 target and whatnot, and help to ensure that we reduce the carbon footprint. And as a leader of this organization, the key thing for me is to ensure that sustainability is embedded in everything that we do. So every decision we make, everything that we do, sustainability is at the back and driving that. And we want to ensure that whatever we do have maximum positive impact on the people and the environment, and minimum negative impact, going forward. And that mantra is very important for the whole organization to understand, so that each of my employee, whenever they do their work, there's something that drives them. And if I can get that to be embedded in the organization 100%, then I've been very successful, I believe.
When you look 5 or maybe 10, 15, 20 years into the future, where do you see Sarawak Energy?
So, so if you can see that we intend to grow as an organization. Our premier, YB Premier said we need 15 gigawatts by 2035, and we will be the driver for the economy and the growth of the state of Sarawak and for Malaysia as well. And what we want to be is we want to be the regional renewable energy powerhouse, and a digital utility. So those are the two things that, to me, very important for us to do that. And by being the renewable energy powerhouse means that we are developing our resources sustainably, and we are generating renewable energy, green energy, and we're sharing that effectively with the region. And basically then we help the region transition to a low carbon economy. And operationally, because we are digital utility, we are very efficient. So we don't waste energy, we have low carbon footprint. If we were to emit carbon dioxide or CO2, we capture it and store it. So those are the things that we need to look at, and the footprint of our organization in terms of carbon footprint will be very low, and we want to be not only net zero, we want to be negative actually. So that's something that to me the organization should strive for going forward. And I believe that I have been putting that message across since I joined Sarawak Energy, and I believe that the younger generation is ready to take over and get it done.
Wow, that's amazing. That's a very powerful message, Razi. And for the younger generations out there, we hope that you too, and for those of you who are watching at home, we hope that this conversation will give you a better look at how Sarawak is stepping up on a global stage. And also, thank you so much to our guest here today. Thank you so much, Datuk, for sharing with us to point out Sarawak with digital utility and also as a global powerhouse. And thank you for sharing. And of course, it's clear that SAREF 4.0 is really a change and driver for Sarawak and the region.
And for those at home, SAREF 4.0 will be taking place on the 3rd and 4th of September at the Borneo Convention Center in Kuching. For those interested in the future of energy and sustainability, it's definitely the place to be, so be sure to be there on September 3rd and 4th show.
All right, that's all from us from Dialog TVS. Big thank you once again for those of you at home. I'm Shul Chanato.
And I'm Razi Ahmad. We'll be seeing you next time.